What is up, Karma Nation? Welcome back here to another edition of our MMA DFS breakdown with our two MMA gurus. We have Bales that's Justin on Twitter, and Dave, NASCAR GOAT Dave, is here rocking some MMA knowledge for you guys at David Jr. 831 on Twitter. We are here for the event UFC 249, which, depending on what time you're watching this podcast on our YouTube channel, is at on the day of May 9th at 6 p.m. Eastern Time lock. So if you're watching this beforehand, you can rewind, skip around, do all you want to do. But if you're watching this right before lock, shame on you for taking this long to check it out. But we are here, and we are going to be talking about different tiers that are separated by 8,800 and up. Now, this is DraftKings salary, of course. 8,800 and up is the top tier. 82 to 87 is the mid tier, and then 8,100 down is the bottom tier. So we're going to go through, see which of the fighters in those ranges these guys like the best, and then we're going to follow that up with some Monkey Knife Fight picks, as well as some PrizePicks picks. Yes, I said picks twice. Now, if you don't have an account on Monkey Knife Fight, just go to MonkeyKnifeFight.online. Use the promo code KARMA. You see it right there to the side of the screen. Promo code KARMA gets you a 100% deposit bonus up to $100. So MonkeyKnifeFight.online, promo code KARMA, and then PrizePicks, the same thing. PrizePicks.online. Use the promo code KARMA. Get that bonus. That is actually up to a $1,000 bonus, 25% match, and they also throw in a $50 entry. Or an entry to win $50. So if you do, you do a two pick, you pick two MMA guys, whoever these guys say, and you have that free pick, and they both go over under whatever they these experts say, then you're gonna get a free $50 there as well. That being said, we're gonna hop right into it. We were talking about earlier that this is actually the biggest prize pool, this biggest contest. There's $1 million guaranteed on DraftKings, and it's pretty massive. And it's only $20 entry, so it's almost similar to the NFL and then the golf, not really million makers, but $1 million plus contests. Oh, as long as you keep it at $20 less, I feel like it fills up very quickly. But let's go ahead and go to Bales first. On the top tier range, Bales, who is your favorite DFS play from 8,800 and up, and why?
Yeah, my favorite's Vicente Luque, and there's a few guys that I like, but I feel like this one isn't really that close for me. Essentially, on the majority of these fights, I can see someone making a case for either side of them. I can't see a case for Nico Price over Luque. They fought in 2017, I believe, and it was very clear that Luque is just a significantly better fighter. Price is really sitting in the UFC because he's super exciting to watch. Like, he does really weird stuff. I think he knocked out Randy Brown with hammer fist from the bottom. I don't really think I've ever seen that before in the UFC, like at any point. And I think he won a recent fight with an up kick via knockout. So, I mean, he just gets you don't want to call him lucky, but they kind of are lucky knockouts. Whereas Luque is just an all-around fighter. He's extremely good with his submissions. He has fine grappling. He has a lot of power in his hands for his weight class as well. So he could win this multiple ways. He didn't really struggle whatsoever in their first fight. He scored, I believe, 111 fantasy points. So I would really go there once again. And I mean, since 2007, you could actually, I think, make the argument that Luque has also gotten progressively better than Price has. So outside of a very lucky knockout by Price, and if you go back to Luque's fights, he has displayed a very, very good chin, especially in his last couple fights. So I don't really have any problems taking Luque. His odds are a bit wide to bet on him, but use him to hammer parlays. You can use him at 9K on DraftKings. I feel like he's most likely going to drop 100 plus fantasy points once again. He generally does that in his wins, excluding the one against Perry. I just feel like he's probably, I wouldn't say the number one play because we have two title fights, but for 88 or higher, I feel like he's easily my number one.
All right, and before we go to Dave on that same tier, something I meant to mention in the beginning is that if you want the MMA core plays for this particular event, if you want the MMA content, just the overall insight to be able to ask these guys any question leading all the way up to lock, you got to get in the Discord. Now, to get in the Discord, we're actually letting you get in there for free. All you have to do is go to this. Well, you're already on the YouTube channel, so go to the YouTube channel, click the subscribe button if you haven't already, and then either send us a DM on Twitter, which is at DFS_Karma, or if you don't have a Twitter, just send us an email to support@dfskarma.com. Send us a screenshot showing that you are subscribed to our YouTube channel, and we will get you in there where you in the Discord for free. We'll not only be there for free, but get the free Korean Baseball League core plays and content and insight, as well as that for MMA this weekend as well. So if you want that stuff, click the subscribe button, show us a screenshot, and then just let us know, and we'll get you in there easy peasy, lemon squeezy. And I don't know why I just said that on pod, but we're moving over to Dave here with the top tier range, 8,800 and up. I'm stop talking now. Bad. Go. You're muted, by the way. You got to unmute your mic first, you old fart.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I had to unmute it because you guys don't want to hear my elephants that live upstairs. They drive us all crazy. Anyways, I totally agree with that pick, Bales. Another guy I think is a pretty good lock to win is going to be Verdum. He's coming off a 2-year suspension. This is the first time he's fought since, I think it's March 17th of 2018. Coming off a loss from there. But he's 42 years old, but so is Oleinik. I think the only chance I see of Oleinik possibly taking this fight is early. He's got to submit Verdum, but I don't see that happening. He's 9,200. He's probably going to be in my cash games. Definitely probably locked in there. I've started building lineups. I haven't focused on lineups. I've been focusing more on props for this. But like I said, Verdum's got decent. What is it? So it's he dishes out more significant strikes than he absorbs, and the only way Oleinik gets him is through submission. However, I think Verdum's just as good, if not better, at submission grappling than Oleinik. And Oleinik's stats when it comes to dishing out, significant strikes is less than what we see from Verdum. So like all the style, everything points to, a probably a second round. If I had to predict something, I'd say a second round knockout by Verdum. Because Oleinik's not going to make it 3 rounds. He has a very bad cardio, whatever you want to call it. It's been so long since I've done a pod.
He's got a very bad cardio. Yeah.
Yeah. It's been so long since we've done pods. By the time we get NASCAR rolling around, I'll be good to go. Anyway, so that's I'm going to stop there before I make a fool like Travis just did. So.
All right, so since you're stopping there, we're going to go back to you for the next one here because you keep saying that Bales is stealing your picks. So let's stick with you while you're mumbling and go straight to the 8,200 to 8,700 range. Who are you looking at on DraftKings?
It wasn't more that he was stealing picks. It's just like this mid-range is where you're going to see a lot of the it could be one side or the other. And also I'm probably playing more tournaments than I am cash games because I think cash game build is probably there's 3 fighters you're going to lock in. And then I think the 4th fighter is just going to be a toss up between a couple guys. So you're basically going to be, picking your 2 other people, or it's going to be a 2v2 in my opinion in a cash game. So I'm probably going to play more tournaments. So I'm looking more for the upside when it comes to a finish. And in this range, there's one possible guy that could get a finish, but Bales will eventually mention him here. I like that side of the fight better. So I'm gonna go Jacare Souza. I'm not in love with this pick, but it's a pick that, I think when you look at the odds to finish in this one, I think I have them pulled up right here. A second. Inside the distance odds here, are I think -150. So what when you're looking at a range like this, you want to finish at 8,300. I also like them on props as well. So when this fight overall isn't great, and you're kind of hoping that you're going to get a finish because otherwise the score is not going to be the greatest score in my opinion. But definitely for a GPP stab in this range, I think you're going to go Souza.
All right, Bales. Was that the lock for you there in this range? Or you're like, I hate you, Dave?
He's got a better lock.
Me? No. I actually like Souza a lot. I wrote him up in my Prize Picks article. This prop's just way too low. It's still way too low, and it went up a little bit. No, I really like Souza. I think that the odds are way too close for his skill set against Hall, but My pick is Tony Ferguson. I think that would have been the very, very clear pick for Dave had I not written him up. Um, I mean, Ferguson against Gaethje, you're obviously getting the 5-round floor if it goes the distance. It's not going to. I can tell you that much. Gaethje doesn't go the distance. He just leaves it all out there, and it's just the way that he fights. So I have concerns about Tony Ferguson. Obviously, Gaethje's takedown defense is just absurd, so I doubt he gets the fight to the ground. I also don't really think that he wants to fight on the ground. The big thing is that we've seen him get rocked before. If you remember the Lando Venata fight, he was basically finished, and for some reason the ref let it go on a little bit longer, and he came back and he won. So I mean, good. I like that they didn't finish it. Obviously, the better fighter won there. But Gaethje has ridiculous power, and I don't think Gaethje would let anyone off the hook if he does rock him. So I do worry about Ferguson's chin, and also he cut weight the other week just to make the point that he could do it against Khabib. So who knows, really? I don't think that will affect him. I think it's been 3 weeks. But who knows how his body's really reacted to it. So that's another concern. But with that being said, I mean, Ferguson might be the most complete fighter in the entire UFC. He can do everything at an elite level. If this goes to the ground, his submissions are ridiculous. He just kind of batters his opponents with elbows, cuts them up, makes the doctor stop the fight. Like, they don't even get a choice at some points. And we know that Gaethje is 100% fine just eating shots left and right. So essentially, this fight is just going to be two guys that walk out there, and I'm assuming just throw down for however long both of them can hold up. And I just kind of favor the guy that has more ways to win, which would be Ferguson. With that being said, though, Gaethje's an absolutely fine play. I think that you should stack this fight in cash games. You're probably going to want to play both of them. In tournaments, when I say that Gaethje's also a fine play, I mean, if you're running 10 teams, I would probably go about 6-4, with 6 being on Ferguson, 4 being on Gaethje. You're not going to want to go full in on Gaethje to the point where, like, if you had 10 teams and you didn't play any Nico Price, I wouldn't really be that mad at you. I wouldn't play 10 Luque, but like 8 or 9 Luque, I wouldn't really be that mad because I feel so confident in that. You're not really going to get that with the Ferguson Gaethje fight. But Ferguson's upside is just so high, it's ridiculous. Along with Gaethje's, even in a loss, he could score extremely well. But yeah, just stack this fight in cash. It's an easy call, and then use one side or the other. Personally, I lean Ferguson.
All right, so let's move to the last tier here, 8,100 and down. Sticking with you, Bales. Now, first off, I guess what your favorite play is there, but is it a favorite play because you think they actually have upset potential, or just potential to get enough points to more or less almost meet value? Being because I'm pretty sure these are all underdogs, right? Statistically, Vegas wise. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So is your pick is someone who is you feel has a chance of upsetting, or just because they can get some points for getting the loss?
Yeah, my guy I actually think wins the fight. I'm surprised at the odds, honestly. I think there's a lot of fighters on this card that are underdogs that very realistically can win fights, where we don't see that often. This is a card where basically anyone can win. For me, it's Yorgan De Castro. He fights Greg Hardy. I already have a bet on De Castro to win. I think it's at plus 173 odds. For me, Greg Hardy just relies so heavily on athleticism because he's so early in his MMA career that someone like De Castro that just has absurd power that Hardy hasn't seen yet could throw him off his game. And the big issue for De Castro is that he's so much shorter, and he has like a 4-inch reach disadvantage or something. I just don't think that Greg Hardy is going to be able to keep him on the outside. I don't think he's going to know how to, just because he's only been practicing MMA for a couple of years. De Castro is extremely, extremely quick with his counter strikes, and I just don't think Hardy will be ready for it. We saw that where De Castro kind of ate some shots from Tafa in his UFC debut, and then it was a clean one-punch knockout on I believe it was a counter left hook. That's kind of what I'm looking at, where I'm assuming Hardy's going to be the aggressor. The other thing is Hardy's dealing with asthma, and we don't really know what the mindset would be. Like, obviously, I feel like if you have asthma, you're probably slightly more worried about travel and corona than just a normal, well-bodied person. Um, I wouldn't really put that into whether I think he wins or not, but it's something that could be in the back of his mind. And on top of it, I don't believe that he truly has the gas tank if the Castro looks to push this fight, shoot a few times. He's just an extremely strong heavyweight. And if he can get him down, I mean, ground and pound makes a lot of sense. Or, like I said, with the counter striking, it's tough to believe that Hardy's really going to be able to see all of it coming. And it's only really going to take that one shot to knock him out.
Gotcha. Dave, who you got for this range here?
Yeah, I know Justin agrees with me on this one because he mentioned something in Discord earlier. But I definitely go look at Dominic Cruz, the other side of that co-main event. And I think he's a great play for cash games. And on the other side with Cejudo, I'm looking at possibly even fading him in my cash games. I'll play him maybe in tournaments. But the thing about Cruz is he limits his opponent's fantasy point upside potential. So that's why, we've talked a couple guys up in that upper tier range. I think Cejudo's 8,900 without looking. And you got guys like Luque, like Verdum, a couple other guys up there, that provide more upside and have a good chance of winning. So, and then Cruz, and the fight itself, the odds on this fight going to decision are minus 190 right now. So that's 5 rounds. You get a guy at 7,400 with Cruz who's going to go 5 rounds. At 7,400, the points that you can get from him, as opposed to some other guys around this range where you need them to win to get to a certain point. It's a great cash game play with Cruz. On the other hand, GPPs, I probably won't go as heavy on Cruz, just because I also don't see him, there's a chance he doesn't win. And there's a chance that if he doesn't win, those points aren't going to be the greatest. I'm looking at probably like if he could win, maybe like 80 points, 85 points, something like that, realistically. Which is great down there, but on the same token, Cejudo's pretty darn good. So Cruz definitely is going to be a lock in my cash game build, and I'll have a little exposure to him in GPPs along with Cejudo.
Now, so you're not confident that Cruz is going to get the win, or you're not guessing he's going to get the win, or that's what you're prophesizing? It's the fact that he's going to go the distance.
I would pick him to win. I know he's going to go the distance. Okay. This fight, I guarantee goes the distance. I doubt. I'd be more surprised if this fight finishes inside the distance than I do distance. As opposed to like Justin was saying with the Gaethje Ferguson fight. That fight probably is not going the distance. This co-main event is going to go the distance, which then hurts. I know 5 rounds, you look for guys that are going to accumulate points if they're going to go the distance. I just don't see that out of this fight as I do. Like if the Ferguson Gaethje fight goes the distance, those guys, throw. So, there's a good chance that, stacking those two guys, you're going to have a nice point total, whereas opposed, you have Cejudo and Cruz. I don't think that total matches anywhere near the main event.
Gotcha. All right, so let's move things over now. That's the DFS side of things for DraftKings. We'll move things over now to the Monkey Knife Fight now. If you have no idea what that means or what I'm saying, Monkey Knife Fight is a prop contest site where they simply give you, let's just say, for example, a 2-pick or a 2-2 or a 3-3 and a 4-4. What I mean by that is a 2-2. Well, apparently Dave is reading some horrible email right now on this podcast.
Oh my God. They just extended the stay-at-home order in Michigan until the 28th.
I thought you were going to say something like they just canceled this event, like in the middle of the pod, like, no, all right, guys, it's a wrap.
No.
All right, anyway, like I was saying, Monkey Knife Fight, one example is like a 2-pick where they give you 2 different fighters, and they say over-under fantasy points. So this guy going to get over this fantasy points, this guy going to get under this fantasy points, and then if you get the correct guess on both sides, then you get, let's just say, 2.5x your buy-in. It's a similar concept the same way on PrizePicks as well. Both of our partners here, they complement each other very well. Now, I believe Dave inquired to Monkey Knife Fight on the scoring because this is the first event, correct me if I'm wrong, they have yes. MMA, and the scoring is actually, from what I understood, but you guys going back and forth in Discord is a little crazy. Is that right?
Yeah.
That's a word you can use.
Yeah, it's definitely different than I thought. Yeah, unique is its own word. Unique is what we thought about it when we first saw it, and then once we got clarification on something, it got even more unique.
Yeah, so make sure that you definitely.
I'm glad we did. So.
Yeah, make sure that you guys definitely. So yeah, same thing on PrizePicks, same thing on Monkey Knife Fight. Check out the scoring. So if it's a fantasy points thing, make sure you know how they score fantasy points. Don't just be like, oh, they're probably going to use DraftKings. Make sure you check out what it is. And I believe the biggest thing on Monkey Knife Fight MMA was that they combine significant strikes on top of the total of total strikes, right? Wasn't that the crazy part?
Yeah. So like if I use the example when I was talking to them, MK or a Monkey Knife Fight guy, it was if you have 100 total strikes and 80 are significant strikes, and then there's 20 that are just regular. You counted as regular strikes. Is it counted? Was it 80 times 2? Because they give you 2 points for significant strikes. That's 160. And then do you add the 20 strikes? Or is it 80 times 2, and then then you count all the total strikes? That'd be 100 strikes. Get 1 point, and it ends up being that. So you're getting 3 points. In reality, basically, you're getting 3 points for a significant strike and 1 point for a strike. So it changes the total, like a huge difference. I think it was 60, 70 points, something like that. It's a big in my example. So that's a huge deal.
Did you just say they're crazy, Justin?
No,
I don't. You're double counting. You're double counting something that I think shouldn't be double counted, but that's just me.
I agree. For me, it should be 2 fantasy points per significant strike, and then 1 fantasy point for a total strike, not including the significant strikes. Like you've already scored.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Oh, yeah,
all right, so definitely keep an eye on that one there. But that being said, let's go to Dave on this one. Dave, what is your current? So if you're looking at it right now, or something that you looked at a little bit ago on Monkey Knife Fight, what is your favorite individual player of all? So it doesn't matter if they're included right now in 2-2s, 3-3s, 4-4s, rapid fires, whatever. What is your overall?
They don't do that. They just do the fight. So you only get the fight. They're not like mixing like all
right, that's good to know.
Yeah. So
they added based on where it is in the card. I think they added 3-3.
Did they? I haven't gone that far, and I don't see it.
All right, so 2-2 Monkey Knife Fight is 2 fighters that are versing each other, and you're just going over and under what they actually score. Okay.
They did.
So that being said,
just add that.
Yeah.
That being said, Dave, what is your favorite 2-2 over under?
2-2 over under. All right, let's put it this way. Now this will entice everyone to come into our Discord because I went through this all yesterday. My wife was wondering what the heck I was doing. But I went through every single fight. Yeah, no, trust me. And I went back and some of these guys, basically their last 5 fights, or if there was, I know someone's going to lose, I went back through their last 5 losses and kind of got their totals on what the scoring system would be. And personally, there's about 6 to 7 fights I think that I really, really like, but I'm going to only give you one. We'll give the rest. I'll give a couple more in Discord. So you got to come into Discord to get that. But my favorite is the Span Alvey fight, because right now we're looking at it. Had it pulled up. Right now it's 111.5 for Span, which went up 10 points since yesterday. And then Alvey, which is 40.5, that went up 6 points from yesterday. I think the over on that is a lock because I don't see this finishing in the first round. If it did, I'd be worried about Span. I'm worried about Alvey. But if that's a lock, if it goes to decision, and I think this thing goes to decision.
So you're saying over on both sides?
Yep. Yeah, it's also the first fight of the night, which typically never goes the way that you think it would, or the odds say it will. And I think so. I think this thing probably more or less will get at least into the 3rd round. And I think that number, looking at my numbers, should be pretty easy to hit.
Gotcha. And then Justin, what is your favorite play currently on Monkey Knife Fight? You can do a 3-3 if you want, or 2-2. It's all whatever you want to do, man.
2-2. I'm not getting crazy because I'm
not getting crazy on pod.
3-3. One of the 3 misses. All of a sudden, people are talking.
I get so many negative comments. Bales, you're the worst.
No, but in all seriousness, this one looks a little ridiculous to me. Alexia Oleinik is set at 168.5, and I'm talking very little chance he wins this fight. Not only that, but he's going to get finished by Verdum. So that should be a lock for the under. I don't really see a situation in any way in which he hits the over. So I think if you really just wanted to make 0.5 times your money, you can bet under on him, bet over and under on Verdum, and basically call it a night. And I would be willing to bet a decent amount of money you win that. But if I also have to pick Verdum, I'll just take the under because I think this finishes relatively early. At worst, I would see Verdum winning in the second round. I do think he can just come out and knock him out in the first, though. And if that's the case, he's not really going to score enough to hit 151 fantasy points. So I would just take under on both of them, and really we'll be shooting for an early finish then.
All right, so let's now move things on to the last segment of this MMA DFS breakdown. Prize Picks now. Now this one is... So if you guys have never played any of these sites before and you're going to sign up right after you watch this, which you can do at the same time even, just pull up a new browser tab. But Monkey Knife Fight, as Dave was saying, is they give you two fighters in a specific fight, and you have to choose the over-under each of them. Prize Picks is different because you get to mix and match to your heart's desire. So they give you a whole slate of fighters, and you can choose one fighter. You can also mix it with Korean baseball players. So they just give you tons of players across different sports, and you can mix and match. You can do a 2-pick, a 3-pick, a 4-pick, anything like that. So because it's so mix and matchable, if that's a correct term or a correct English anyway, Dave, who is your just singular favorite over-under right now, since people can mix and match that with Bales' plays or anybody else's plays?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I know where Justin's going to go, so I'll go somewhere else. I'm going to go Tony Ferguson. He's 92.1. He's going to throw enough volume. He's going to win that fight. He's going to, I think probably, maybe fourth round at latest. So I see him easily going over on that 92.1.
All right, Bales, what are you looking at?
I mean, I can stick with Fabricio Verdum.
Okay.
Verdum.
Oh yeah, I guess Luque's number did jump up from when you hit him. So.
Yeah, well, I like Luque too. At 95, I still think he drops over 100, so I have no problems with that. He would probably be number 3 for me right now, though. Verdum at 85.1, essentially a first or second round finish is over with a finish alone. Second round finish guarantees over. Even a third is fine. And I really do believe he finishes this fight. And then my number 2 is Jacare Souza. It's only 74.1, and it's only that low because they're taking the odds of him to win into consideration. Whereas if I believe that he wins, obviously he's close to a lock, especially if he has to use his grappling, which he should, to hit this number. This is one of the advantages that I feel you can get with MMA. They take the odds to win into consideration, which really don't matter when you think about it. They matter for stuff like DraftKings, but if you believe a fighter wins, you're just getting them at a lower price then. And since they don't offer both sides of the fight, you're just getting guys that are super low just because they believe it's closer to a 50-50 chance. And if you think they have closer like a 70% chance, like it's such clear value there.
Gotcha. So we just literally dropped 4 different Prize Picks plays. They're going through Bales' 3 favorite, and then the Ferguson on Dave's call. So how it works on Prize Picks, if you plug all those 4 in right now, and you do what's called a power play, which means all 4 have to hit, you can put $100 on all 4 to hit, and that'll turn into $1,000 if it happens. So if it does, you're welcome.
Could also match it with some NASCAR picks, just saying.
That's right. We got iRacing this weekend as well, so make sure that you guys are in the Discord. Go to dfskarma.com/shop, or just go to dfskarma.com and click on subscriptions. The 2 subscriptions we still have currently live is the esports, which cover literally every esports out there. We just added Rocket League, I believe, as well. So you have Rocket League, Call of Duty, League of Legends, Counter-Strike, Geo, tons. And then if there's any added after this, they're going to be added to this package as well. And then we also have the iRacing that Dave has somehow, even though I feel like it's not related at all, somehow taken his NASCAR skill set and moved it over to the video games side of things and still destroyed DFS with that.
If I was having to work right now, I might have a little issue, but I'm able to sit at home and watch Twitch and watch all these practice races. So it kind of makes a difference.
Just watches tons of them. So yeah, both these packages are only.
one thing to think about Prize Picks too, Monkey Knife Fight, you're forced to play the plays that they put on for you. Whereas Prize Picks, you can take two of our MMA picks and match them with, one of Ricky's, CSGO picks plus a NASCAR pick or something. You can mix sports, which makes, instead of, having to play someone like, a Verdum with a Linux, you could play, you could take the best of all the sports and put them into one play.
Yeah, so what I was saying is that so the iRacing subscription is only $10 and the esports subscription is only $10. So we made these very, very affordable for you guys, so you can, instead of just sitting in the corner and being like, dang, I wish there was sports, nothing to do. I want to play DFS, but I don't know anything about iRacing. I don't know anything about esports. Come over to Karma Nation. We'll take care of you guys. But that does wrap up this edition here of MMA DFS Breakdown. I think I had one more question. I think Dave answered it in the middle of answering another question, but on DraftKings, who is your number one fade on DraftKings? Doesn't matter if you're doing cash or GPP, just the person that just in your mind, you're like, I'm definitely going to avoid this person as much as possible. Bales, start with you. Who's your overall fade on DraftKings of this event?
Oh, man.
Got you on your toes.
I wasn't expecting this. I would say Ryan, man.
Bales had already unplugged his headset. He turned off his microphone like, okay, this is a wrap. And then
I still talking? I don't know. I would go Ryan Spann. Most expensive fighter. Sam Alvey is strictly a counter striker. You don't really want to get into a power punching contest with Alvey either. So Spann, being the longer guy, is going to put him up against the fence and just strike from a distance. Maybe he takes him down and subs him at some point. But I doubt this fight really finishes early in the first round or anything. And for 9,300 with guys like Verdum and Ngannou, Luque, the three below him, who I all believe finish, you would really need a lot out of Spann in a fight that doesn't really predict a high pace. So I feel like he's kind of a guy that I just wouldn't use.
All right, Dave, who's your fan? I think you might have said this within the answering something else, but I don't remember who said it was.
I'm sure I did, and I'm not playing a bunch of lineups, so I have a couple guys I'm going to fade in a fight.
I want one, Dave. You pick your number one fade. Gosh dang it.
I'm okay, fine. Well, if I'm picking my number one fade, then I'm probably going to fade Olynyk, but. If I'm gonna fade a fight, it's gonna be the Pettis Cowboy fight. I just don't see anything good coming to that fight. But I'm just, if you're making me pick one, I'm gonna pick Olynyk. So
see how easy that was. All right, so like I was saying, that wraps up the MMA DFS breakdown. If you guys got this far, we appreciate you guys. Make sure you do click that subscribe button on this YouTube channel. If you're listening to us right now on iTunes, on Stitcher, subscribe, follow those channels as well. But then head over to YouTube, search for DFS Karma, or just go to your browser, type in karmamedia.live. It'll automatically take you to our channel. Click the subscribe there, and then take a screenshot of that, send it to us. You can either tweet it to us, tag us at DFS_Karma, send us as a DM, or if you don't have Twitter, shoot me that image at support@dfskarma.com, and we will get you in our Discord, where you will get the Korean baseball plays. You'll get the MMA plays, 5 a.m. plays. Yeah, man, all-nighters. If you're wondering why Bales looks like that, it's Korean baseball is the answer. Yeah. But yeah, guys, appreciate it. All right, yeah, we'll get sports back. Well, no, and then also stay tuned for NASCAR as well. It's coming back in 2 more Sundays. But yeah, we'll see you guys. Appreciate you tuning in here, and good luck this weekend. See you.